It's funny, all of these guys were sitting around in the room over there and we're talking about you, obviously, and it's like, what are you guys, and everybody's like, I want to know how he works out. How does he look like that? You know, what's his meal routine? And I mean, for something like this, I mean, because you always look in good shape. I mean, was there anything you had to adjust for this role, workout-wise, or it was just a normal day?
I ran intensely. You know, I've always boxed and did martial arts, but it was really kind of a funny story. Kevin was like, you know, I don't want you to look like you're in the gym. You know, and I was like, okay, that's awesome. I was like, that's the best thing that you could have ever told me. And so I show up just like normal, you know, normal me. You know, I didn't think because I figured his logic was that they didn't have the same type of food that we would have today. So, you know, and I get there and he's like, I was thinking tighter. And I'm like, well, you said you didn't want me to work out. I was like, what do you mean, Kevin? And he's like, let's go tighter. Let's go tighter. So I immediately had to like switch to chicken and broccoli and no beer and just running and
Where's the fun in that?
I ran everywhere. I ran from sword practice to rehearsal to, I mean, I just had the driver kind of tail me so I would know which direction to go for the first few days. And God, I was running like 8 miles to places. It was, but I like to run, so that's kind of my thing.
It seems like it would help out in a film like this, though, because you guys are constantly moving and with the energy and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that all these guys did. Like, you know, the Romans, they just marched, and they built, and then they fought. And they marched, and they built, and then they fought some more, and then they fought some more. And, like, I don't know how they did it. I really don't know how they were just carved out of stone by the end of it, you know. I mean, my hands were, just from wielding swords and knives, like, just got, like, fatter and meatier and, like, just harder. They just must have been the hardest, like, things on the planet, these guys, these soldiers.
There's also an element of this movie that I hope people grasp, and that's the relationship between you and the slave as you guys go on this journey, and that, you know, the times that you get to see life through his eyes, and he even kind of gets a glimpse of maybe what you guys are going through.
Yeah.
Was that part of the theme of the movie too, you think, or is it mainly just a gladiator film?
No, definitely not. I mean, it's for sure that, I mean, that's the whole reason I think for the film, is to show more of an intimate, you know, juxtapose of two different people that are from entirely different places that do not understand each other or know how the other one, you know, lived or, you know, has lived. And it's that sort of slowly peeling back the layers of the onion of someone that you should hate, and realizing that they're pretty much just like you in a lot of different ways. You know, his entire tribe was wiped out by the Romans. You know, did I do it? No. But, you know, my people did. And then his people pretty much killed my father and his entire legion, you know. So they're very, very similar, and they did it on for totally sort of different reasons in a way, but still out of just ignorance and hate, you know, and not trying to, you know, the Romans, they conquered. You know, they were like, that's just what they did. They moved on and they conquered more, and they moved on and they conquered more. And Marcus really buys into the idea of Rome being something that people should want, and they just don't know it yet. They just don't know how good it is. That's because, like, you're killing everyone. Like, you're killing everyone if they don't want that, you know, and they should be able to have that choice. And it's just honor on on each sides, but from two different aspects. And I think it's that understanding, the getting to understand someone else's point of view, but really ultimately learning to respect the person as just a person.
You got to get into that rhythm of the movie, because a lot of times you're like, you know, Rome wasn't really doing great things, you know. No, it's like the way they were treating people, but we're still supposed to root for you.
Yeah. And I thought it was really funny. We would call them the savages, and yet we had gladiator, I mean, you know, rings where we were killing slaves, and, you know, and all kind of horrible games that they thought were civilized, but they're barbaric. They're absolutely barbaric.
Yeah. Do you think our culture's lost some of that honor, like the slave has? It's like, man, I hate everything about you, but I'm sworn to you now. I have to have allegiance to you.
I think, yeah. I don't think people care about their word as much as they did, you know, back in the day. I think that things are so much more central. Like, you know, you couldn't leave and go away from home very far without someone knowing you very easily. So I think people really, they honored themselves more, you know, much less, you know, honored someone else. You know, they needed to be good. They needed to, you know, even just to be able to survive. You know, if people didn't trust you, no one wanted to help you, or, you know, you needed your fellow, you know, neighbor, you know, and you needed to have a community.
Yeah, cool. Cool. Well, as always, man, you did a great job.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations on the film, and it's good to see you. Your roles are always jumping around.
Yeah, they're everywhere,
we
man.
Typecast you in anything, man. It's pretty awesome.
They're everywhere. I like to change it up. It gets kind of boring doing the same thing.
Right.
Definitely. And I just want to work with great filmmakers.